Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here with the Y, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. Today we are going to be focusing specifically on the nervous system, how to calm your nervous system, so how to calm body and mind through the nervous system. We'll be doing this in 3 different ways. The first way is to introduce some weighted elements. So I'm using 5-pound weights here. You can use the weights that you're more comfortable with, that you have at home. You can grab a couple cans of soup, whatever you have handy, but perhaps on the heavier end of the spectrum that you are used to working with. We're using these weighted elements for a reason. We're using the feedback of the weight to just offer your body some new feedback. We're shifting your proprioception, your body's sense with this feedback so that you can shift your state of being, shift your state of mind within your body. So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna do very many repetitions because we have a heavier weight, and also the goal is not necessarily to get a workout in. The goal is to introduce this feedback to your body's sense so that we can shift away from perhaps feeling a little bit like we're spinning out and more grounded, more stable, and peaceful within our body, okay? So let's grab our weights here. You can just hold them in either hand, and we're gonna bring them up. So I want you just to feel how it feels to bring your wrists on top of your elbows, and elbows are in line with your shoulders. Obviously, your head is in line with your spine, so thinking about your posture here is gonna be helpful as well. But just really feel the weight. And we're just gonna open and close here as you breathe. We're just gonna take about 5 more reps here, but just appreciating that extra weight. Feeling your feet into the floor, so equal weighted through both of your feet. Last one here, we're gonna hold it out and just start to lift up. Let your shoulders glide down your back as you lift your arms over your head. And let's take this 6 more times, breathing here. Last 2, last 1. Go ahead and let your arms relax at your sides, and feeling for a second the pull of the weight down as if it's drawing your arms longer towards the floor. Take a deep breath here. Let it all the way out. And let's just take a side over here. Really let the weight pull you over. Taking this just to the degree that you feel like you still have control over the movement. And then bring yourself back up. Let's take that to the same side 4 more times, but really just feeling the weighted element here. Last one. Let's take that to the other side. And really just letting that weight really lengthen your arm as it draws you over to the side. Let's take 2 more here. Now holding your weight still in your hands, let's find a feeling where your feet are hip distance apart. We're gonna hinge from the hips. So notice how I'm not rounding my spine here. I'm keeping a neutral spine as I hinge from the hips. We're gonna draw our arms back so they're relatively in line with the spine, and let's just bring a soft bend to the knees. Take a deep breath and just feel the weight. Feel the effort to draw your arms back behind you. And then hold that in place as we just take a tricep press here, bringing that weight forward, bringing that weight back. But just feeling that weighted element here as you breathe. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. And last one. Go ahead and stand all the way back up. And again, just feeling the weight pulling your arms down. I'm gonna step back a little bit further here, and we're gonna take a wide stance with a slight turnout. So let's slightly externally rotate the legs through the hips. So I'm gonna stand to the side so you can see this a little bit better, because we're gonna be hinging again right from the hips. Find that feeling of being in a neutral spine even as you hinge. Let's bring our weights to our hip bones. We're gonna start to sit back in our heels, bending the knees, come down into a squat, and then bring your hands down towards your feet and allow that weight to pull you down a little bit more into your squat. And then stand back up. We're just gonna take that 3 more times. You can leave your arms here if that's helpful. Otherwise, this can be helpful just to feel yourself really breaking at the hip, hinging from the hip here before we bend the knees and sink down. So find that hinge. You can let your arms drop. Let the weight just start to sink you down into a squat. Sitting back into your sit bones, bringing yourself back up, standing tall. 2 more here. Find that hinge from the hip. Arms can be long, and let the weight start to draw you down towards the floor. Bringing yourself up, standing tall. Last one. Standing up, unhinging, and standing tall. Set your weights aside. And just take a second to be aware of your body. Without the feedback of the weight, checking in with how you feel. Maybe you feel a little more grounded, planted into the floor. Maybe you just feel a little more aware of your body. So we're gonna move on to the second exercise, which is very similar to what animals intuitively do. We are just gonna be shaking it out. Shaking out tension, shaking out pent up stress or energy, and we're gonna be doing it in a very intuitive way. So you can always just turn on a song that you like and shake for about 3 minutes. So 3 to 5 minutes is always kind of the little window we wanna aim for. You can shake out individual body parts or your whole body. You can jump up and down and turn this into a dance, but really just starting with that shake. So let's get started. We're gonna shake for about 3 minutes, and then we'll come back to our last practice to move through. So I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna time us here. You can just start with a little bounce on your feet, but let your arms be loose. Wiggle at the hips, shake out your shoulders. And add in some rotation. Take one arm specifically, just shaking, other arm. You can take one leg, just shaking out your leg, other leg. Maybe going back and forth, just shake out those legs. Back up to the arms, shake out your shoulders, balancing. Got 1 more minute here. Make it fun and playful. And noticing where it feels kind of difficult to create movement. So if it feels difficult up in the shoulders and the neck, you can just take this more gently. You can move into some circles, reversing those circles. And you can even stick out your tongue all the way and stretch out your jaw. The tongue is a muscle too. So you can stretch out your tongue, open your mouth, and close it. You can take that a couple times. And then returning to your bounce, letting everything feel nice and loose. All right, so feel free to take that shake as long as you want to, but we are gonna move into our last practice, which is going to be diaphragmatic breathing. Now, especially when things are stressful or when we're kind of amped up, a lot of the time that breathing can happen a little bit further up into the chest instead of down in the rib cage where our diaphragm sits. So before we even start to breathe, let's bring our hands just about to our chest here and just create some gentle but pretty vigorous circles here. Kind of along the lines of our shaking here, we're just creating some space. So you can take that from one side to the other. You can take that down to the rib cage. Just kind of massage that last rib space from the back to the front. Doing this a couple times just to kind of release any stuck tension that's living or hanging out in that area, spending as much time as feels good. And then let's start to breathe. So with your breath, I want you to explore this space that's at the bottom of your rib cage. It can be helpful to bring your hands here for some feedback, but let's just start by breathing wide. So direction side to side. Filling that space and see if you can let your exhale be super slow. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale. More here. Now let's take our hands to the front and the back of that same space. We're going to be breathing front and back. So as if you're breathing out into your front hand, back into your back hand. Same thing, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more here. Now let your hands relax at your sides and see if you can envision your rib cage like a barrel. And I want you to see if you can just breathe out into that whole space. Side to side, front to back, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more here. Really feeling like as you exhale, you can release all the air that's possible as you exhale. Make it feel long and slow. Last one here, breathing in and out. So as always, just stay in any of these spaces for as long as feels good. Now, this is a really helpful practice to just turn to when you feel like you're amped up, a little stressed out, and before you take action on anything, or even just to make things feel a little bit more stable, to connect with your body, to settle your nervous system so that you can move and create action in a way that's coming from a more centered and balanced place. And always, it's helpful just to settle the nervous system so we can feel calm, so we can feel more peaceful and easeful within our bodies. So please use these practices in the ways that feel good for you. It's always good just to continue to develop a really diverse toolkit of ways to work with your nervous system and your body. So when you feel that it's the right time to settle yourself, or you feel like you need one of those tools, you can just survey, what are the tools, what are the practices I know that are really helpful for me? You can reach for that tool and work with it just on your own time. So many of these don't require any props, just you being with your body, so you can take them with you really wherever you go. So work with yourself, work with these practices, and I hope that they bring you some easefulness, some peacefulness in what can feel like a really chaotic world sometimes. So I hope you take good care, and I'll see you back here next time on the Wise Recharge with Us from Home series.